This is the spare room that I keep a lot of my plants in, probably about half of my collection, including all of my fancy plants in the greenhouse. I don't like how I utilize the space I have. I have plenty of room in here as it is. I just don't like how it's arranged. Also, one key factor is this greenhouse here. There's a light on each of these shelves and one above for the plants to get light. A lot of my plants are either growing slowly or the new growth is smaller than I would expect it to be, especially on like this Addabah Poense. I've gotten 2 new leaves on it and they're smaller than the previous leaves significantly. So I decided to look up the lights again, and the temperature's good, all of that, the volts are good, but I misread the lumens on them. The lumens are about half of what it should be in order to keep these plants in optimal condition. It's effectively in kind of mid to low light as opposed to what I was going for, which is like mid to high light. So I figure there's 2 solutions to this. I can either double up my lights and get 2 for each shelf, which is very doable, or I could move the entire greenhouse from this location over here. So instead of getting extra lights, I would just be supplementing light with this western window. Because there are a few plants in here who are really liking the light they're getting. The calatheas are some examples of that, and some of the alocasias seem to be doing pretty well. It's just the philodendrons, my Monstera standeliana, my syngoniums, they aren't doing quite so hot. They're putting off either no growth or putting off very small growth. So I'm thinking if I put them over here, then they would be much happier, but I need that high humidity. So here's my thought process. Take this whole section, move it over here. This shelf has hardly anything on it, so in theory, I could figure out what to do with all these plants and either put them somewhere, declutter them. I can certainly add them to the greenhouse, other areas of the house, kind of rearrange things a little bit, and just get rid of this shelf completely. Now, I had some little skinny IKEA shelves on either side of this that I had at my previous house. I basically didn't have a use for them, so I decided to just get rid of them completely, so those are gone. I also have this tall armoire from IKEA that I have no idea what to do with. While I like this wardrobe quite a bit, it's gone through 2 different moves since I bought it, and on this last move, it's got this weird tinge to it, and it looks dirty, but I've cleaned it so many times and it won't come off. It's almost like some plastic was stuck to it, and it just, the plastic almost wore onto it, and it won't uncloud. So it's not cute anymore. I could always get brand new doors for it. I could get a different style if I don't like the mirrored ones anymore. But, this is a big old question mark. Not sure what to do with that. The chair can stay here. I've also got this horrid mess over here, which is basically just a clutter station. It's got a lot of my extra hair products, makeup, things like that on there. That'll probably stay. I just kind of want some better storage solutions for that. This is a north-facing window, so it doesn't get enough light to put really plants there. I use this table right here next to the window as my rehab for certain plants, or when I bring plants home. That's my sort of quarantine area until I integrate it into the house. My lovely snake plant can kind of go anywhere. And obviously this humidifier stand that I have going on here is not the cutest thing in the world, so I'd like to get rid of that as well. But overall, this room is a decent size, like it is actually a bedroom. Yeah, so I'm toying around with the different ideas. The big concern about moving this over here and getting rid of this is I don't know what I'm going to do with the Plauminii, because she's a big girl. She is huge and she's putting out growth like crazy. She loves this window. I just don't know. She's way too heavy for the greenhouse, so I don't know what I'm going to do with her. So that's the situation with my room. I'm going to start taking plants off and putting them off to the side. I'll probably be doing a lot of cleaning and stuff as I go. But yeah, let's just get started. too warm officially. I'm gonna move this whole contraption over here. I do think I'm gonna push it all the way up against the wall. Of the plants that were in my greenhouse, about half of them were doing great and half of them were like, to bad. I wanna give it more light, and then I'm gonna migrate all the plants that like that low light. I'm gonna move them down so they get less light from this window, and all the other ones that need more light, I'm going to move to the top. So that's the plan. So I was setting all this up, and look in the corner here. It is a full-blown spider web with like a little, oh my gosh, just a full-on spider web right there. So I don't know. Oh, there he is. He's making a debut. Can you see? Look at him. He's coming out. He's like, what's going on? You moved my home. Okay, call me crazy, but I kind of want to leave him in here because that means he's eating bugs, right? Like, he's not poisonous, he's just some little whatever. So I think I'm gonna leave him. Am I crazy? He's super cute though. Hi, buddy. In case you're wondering what my floor looks like right now, I'm gonna be putting all of these back into the greenhouse. I'm going to be keeping, I think, all of my alocasia on the lower levels because they don't need quite as much light. Aside from these Fridex, these are huge, so these have to go on that top rung. But all the other alocasias I'm going to put on the bottom, along with the calatheas, and then everything else will move up. So I'm going to start putting these back, and then I'll show you the finished product. You got a floof on your tail. Yes, you do. Hi. What? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, my baby. So next I'm going to try and put some of the other plants that were on the shelf prior into the greenhouse a little bit. I've got plenty of space. I just have to figure out how I want to like squeeze them all in there. So let's see how this works, huh? Right? So here's what I have so far. It's probably not going to stay like this. I'm probably going to be doing something to it. But this pluminii is taking up the entire middle section here. It's actually kind of blocking the light for a few things. Look at this beautiful specimen. Oh my gosh. She is just my world. I don't know what I would do without her. She is perfect and I love her. So I will give her the primo spot for right now. Both of these leaves, these big, huge leaves, they came in while sitting in that window in the spot it was in before. So I definitely want to keep it here. I don't want to transfer it to an eastern window. And this is the only western window I have. So I want to keep her here. I might have to get something to put her up a little higher because there is a decent amount of room to go up. And she's currently set like right in the middle. So I want to make sure she's not taking up too much light from everybody else, and also so that I can still get in there, because literally she is coming out the door in this position. So I'm gonna have to rearrange her a little bit. But everybody else, I've got my 2 alocasias here. This one isn't looking great. I'm worried that the spider mites came back for this one, so I'm going to immediately take her out right after this. I've got a little syngonium here from the shelving unit. My Monstera Peru I put back in here. I took her out because I didn't think she was getting enough light, and I think that is still the case, but now she's going to be getting some window light and the supplemental light, so she should be doing better. I have my one calathea that's rehabbing still over there. Both of my propagations on this shelf, so this is kind of like my rehab center shelf right there. Maggie is playing with those, so I'm going to have to get those out of the way. My 2 beautiful calatheas. My white fusion had a spider mite infestation, so she's not looking hot, but she's on the recovery path. Over here I have all my non-Frydek alocasias. I've got, well, this one is technically a Frydek. This is that itty bitty one that went back down to a stump and it's regrowing. That little sad pot back here is actually my silver dragon. I'm hoping she comes back. She did grow some roots before she died off, so I'm hoping that'll rebound. I'll give her time. And I've got these 2 here that have regrown from stumps and they're doing pretty well. My Cuprea, which is a stunner. This is the gigantic leaf she came with and has finally put out a brand new big gorgeous leaf that is perfect in every way. She's probably going to drop this one pretty soon because she's been through the ringer. She came all the way overseas, so she probably wants to retire and say goodbye to this cruel, cruel world. My tiny dancer, I moved out from underneath the supplemental light. She has some burnt tips, so I don't think she's enjoying the light too much. Because she's so tall, I think she's touching the light, and even though the light itself isn't hot, I think it's too much for it. So I'm going to push it off to the side a little bit so that I can get a little more lower light. Up here, I have my syngonium, which I know is not getting enough light because she is not putting out really any growth at all. I did have another light on top, one of those grow lights, and it has totally bleached her leaves, so I'm going to put her here so she gets some window light. I might end up switching these 2. This is my Gloriosum. You can't see her because the Pluminii is in the way, but this is my Gloriosum. She's put out new leaves. She's put out 2 new leaves since I got her, but they're the same size, and I want her to get a little bigger, so I put her nice and close to the window. And then top shelf here is all the ones that I have staked. They are technically short enough to clear the shelves below, but I kind of have to wedge them in, so this way I can handle them a little bit easier. This Varicosum is growing and doing well. This is the newest leaf up here, but they're not getting bigger in size, so I definitely think she needs more light. I've got my Standeliana in the back, still vining like crazy. I may cut that vine back. I'm going to see what she does with the vine before I cut it back, but she is vining like crazy. Got my Audibot Poense, which definitely needs more light. Both of the leaves she put out for me since I got her have been teeny tiny compared to the ones she came to me with, so she's going to definitely appreciate more light. This Bangonia, I almost called it a Bangonia. This Begonia, she likes humidity more. I don't think she's going to hurt from the extra light, but if the light does hurt her, I might move her to a different area, but this is kind of a trial. And then my Melanochrysum definitely needs more light, so hopefully she enjoys it. Now, this humidifier is just kind of like you turn a dial and it's on. So I have it set on the lowest possible setting. When the lights come on, the humidifier will also come on. It'll probably keep this much more humid than my other one did. I basically just turned it on for 6 hours once a day and it held it at about 70. Having one like this on the low setting in a greenhouse like this for 12 to 16 hours a day, that very well might make it too moist in here. I'm gonna see how it does for a few days and monitor and adjust as needed. But for right now, I think this is an awesome setup. I will show you what's left over. I still have some cleaning up to do, of course, and tidying after all this moving, but this is what I have left over. I have this little begonia here. It is still in quarantine. It's not allowed to be next to other plants because I bought it less than a week ago. So I'm going to have it sit here, see if there's anything wrong with it, treat it, and then add it to the greenhouse behind me. So that's just temporary. Over here I have all of my snake plants that were in the area. I will definitely find homes for these. I just need to pick the right spot. The tall gentleman is probably going to go up against the greenhouse like he was before. This one's going to a friend, and the other two I can definitely find homes for. The only three that I don't have a home for right now is my Marble Queen Pothos, which is doing great. My Aglaonema Red Siam Red, something like that. I did this I had this in a repotting video. She's not doing fantastic. I should have kept her a little more watered than I did, but she's rebounding. And then my Dracaena Janet Craig. I need homes for those three. The Janet Craig might stay there, in all honesty. That's kind of a good spot. This is the north window. They don't need a ton of light and they do okay. I probably won't keep her back that far, but I might keep her on that little shelf just so I have some green in that corner. So yeah, that's everything. I have to move the shelf somewhere because it's currently sitting in my bedroom and I have a lot of cleaning up after this, but I'm very happy with how many plants I can fit in that greenhouse. I'm very happy that it seems like I'll be able to find a spot for all of my plants. I'm sure I'll keep you updated on everything. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of those things. Write a comment. Do you think I should keep the spider or not? Because my default is going to be keeping the spider, so unless I get told like, no, don't have spiders in your greenhouse, things like that, it's terrible, I'll probably leave him in there because he's tiny, he's not anything poisonous or anything. I'm not necessarily afraid of spiders. I don't like things crawling on me, but he's not gonna move and all of that kind of stuff. Also with spiders, no one wants to admit it, but spiders are everywhere. They're in your house. I don't care what kind of house you're in, condo, apartment, skyrise, mansion, you have spiders in your house. That's how it is. So me killing one is not necessarily going to stop, an infestation or anything like that. So I figure, just leave them alone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!